Hey, happy day 198 of doing one thing every day that makes me happy and you happy. I hope right along with me. For the little journal book, do one thing every day that makes you happy. Decided this year that I needed to do more to pay attention to and be conscious of how happy or all the good things in my life, to actually pay attention to the good things that are in my life. Because I don't know about you, but I tend to not always appreciate or be grateful for all the amazing things that are in my life. So this little journal book, found it at the cabin, and it's really helping me, after 198 days, almost 200 days, to actually be consciously aware of all the amazing blessings that are in my life, all the amazing good things and good people that are in my life. Now today is one of those double sayings days, which means there's a saying and it goes with the next 2 days activities. The next 2 days, I like to call them challenges, because they are activities or things that make me actually be aware of the good things that are going on around me, the good things in my life, the things that make me smile and feel good. So today the saying is, handy dandy magnifying glass, the highlights of my life have been innumerable, but I think the real highlight is the persistent feeling that the best is yet to come. Mort Schindel said this. This is an awesome saying. This is a really good one. I'm excited about it because it is important to realize and appreciate the past, the highlights that we've had in our life, but it's also important to understand that the best is yet to come in our life. So often, I have found myself and other people too, we get on a track where our life either feels like it's going in an upward spiral or a downward spiral. One thing we can count on is that our life is never going to stay the same. It's always going to change. Change is inevitable. Just like the highlights of our life have been innumerable because we've lived up into this point. The highs, the lows, the highlights we think of as the good things that have happened in our life. The lowlights are the things that we look back on and we say, geez, that wasn't so awesome. But I have found, amazingly enough, that the things that most people would consider the absolute worst things that could ever possibly happen to them have actually been the highlights of my life. I like to do, every couple of years, I used to do it more often, but every couple of years, I like to do like a life timeline, a little life map. And of course, the past doesn't change, but I like to add on the new experiences that I've had. And I just will sit down with a piece of paper and in a quiet place for maybe half an hour, sometimes longer if I want to really revisit things, or if I want to deal with some stuff that I need to get rid of or want to get rid of. And I'll just go through, okay, these are the highlights of the last couple of years of what's happened in my life. Got a current challenge going on right now, which most people would consider a low light, but somehow I will find a way to turn it into a highlight. And I'm talking big things, like I had a sudden cardiac arrest and died. Well, most people would think that's the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. But to me, it was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it finally gave me the opportunity to give myself permission to change my life in the direction that I'd always wanted to change it. I, did what everybody else has always done in their life. I went to college, had a family, had a career, and did different things because I thought that I had to do them. I thought it was the right thing to do. Excuse me, I gotta knock a cat down before she knocks my light down. I thought it was the right things to do, and I didn't realize that I was going down a path that wasn't in my best interest. It didn't make me feel good, and I made choices and gotten involved in a relationship that didn't work for me. Great person, not the right person for me. So I think it's important every once in a while to go back and look at our life and say, okay, what were the turning points? Because usually when we look back on events, when we look at the highlights of our life, we notice, I guess I noticed this when I died, is that all of the bad things that happened in our life, all of the bad experiences, we don't experience any of those. We don't feel any of those to the intensity that we did. Unless, of course, we're reliving them by dwelling on the past and thinking about the past all the time. But we only remember the great things and the great experiences and the experience that make us who we really are. So I like to look at my life from, all different aspects. My physical life and what were the highlights with respect to my physical well-being, my health. I like to look at my career highlights, my work, my occupation highlights, my financial highlights, my emotional, my spiritual, my contribution highlights. What am I doing to help and contribute to other people? And I like to look at those different areas of my life on this timeline, this lifeline, this map, and just, reflect. And if I don't like the way I'm being in a certain area, then I decide, okay, maybe it's time to change that. Maybe it's time to spend a little energy and effort on that area of my life. For example, say the area of contribution. Maybe I feel like I haven't donated enough time or money to other causes or to make the world a better place. That would just be an example. So today, our challenge, finally getting to it, is to say the highlights of my life. So that's why I was talking about the map, is think about the highlights of your life. That's our challenge today. And you'll be amazed at how the amazing, wonderful things come to mind. I've got the birth of my kids, the different pets and things that we've had, different people that have come in and out of my life. I've got, my engineering degree. Nobody ever thought that I would be an engineer. Different jobs and promotions that I've had, businesses that I've run and owned, legal cases that I've won, different milestones and goals in my different businesses that I've achieved. And then I also wrote down, my health challenges: sudden cardiac arrest, kidney surgery, eye surgery, blindness, all kinds of stuff that we can write down. And although most of those, the health ones, people would think, oh my God, those are terrible. And actually, I didn't write down my positive health things, because I've had really good positive things happen to me health-wise. And these aren't negative, they just are what they are. But there's lots of highlights in our life. And the most important thing about the highlights in our life isn't that they are what that has happened. They are what they are. It's how we emotionally respond to, or how we feel about those events, those situations, those experiences in our life. So today, note the highlights in your life. And tomorrow, we're probably going to think about the best is yet to come, right? In the future. Go out and make an absolutely fantastic day. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Be happy. You got this.